friends, welcome back to LoadRunner training videos. So it's been so long I did video. So again I started videos. Sorry for the delay. I was very busy with my personal work, so I couldn't start the videos. So today's topic we will discuss about how to use parameterization and what are these types. There are many types, right? Sequential, random, unique, and we'll see how to use. And when you have a sequential, we have different set of options, right? So let's discuss each of them in detail. Okay. So excuse me. So I opened Fusion and I did parameterization. As you can see, most of them know how to do parameterization, so I am not going into in detail of parameterization how to do, but I can show you guys how to do. Here, as you seen, I have used CSV file. You can use .dat extension and as well as .csv as well. Okay. So let's say I want to use this username and password. Some of them asked which options are good for which type of data. Okay, let's say you did the URL parameterization. So what is the best option to go? Whether it is a sequence ones or you might be having doubts, right? Which option to select? So how each sequential, each iteration works. If you use random, how it works. Unique, if you use how it works. So we'll discuss most of them today in detail. Okay, so let's say first we'll talk about sequential. Okay, so sequential and each iteration. So whenever you select sequential each iteration, so what it happens is first user comes. Let's say when you are running with the 10 user load test, what happens is first user will come and take the first data line. Okay, this data, because the data line is one, right? So the data will take this one. Okay, then second iteration, second value, third iteration, third value, fourth iteration, fourth value, fifth iteration, fifth value, so on and so forth. Okay, then when you go with 10 users, how the values will take. Okay, so all the 10 users will come and take the first value for first iteration. See, there is a lot of duplication, right? All users are taking first value for first iteration, second value for second iteration. So how can you check this one? There is a simulate parameter. So you click on that and you can check that behavior, same behavior what I told. Okay. So what I said, when you have one user, the first iteration it will take first value, second iteration second value, third iteration third value, fourth value, so on and so forth, right? So let's say I one user one iteration. See, if just expand this 407, right? If you increase to two iteration, you can see second value. Okay, if you give five iterations, five values it will pass. Okay, so the fifth value 91. So now if you increase the users, whatever values the first user is taking, the second user also takes the same values. That is mean by sequential. Don't think like first user will take first value, second user will take second value, third user third value, like that. Okay. So whatever first user follows the data, the second user and whatever users comes, they will follow the same approach. Always first data line for first iteration, second data line for second iteration, like that. It will change iteration wise, not based on the user wise. Okay, let's see if I change two users and only one iterations, let's give. Okay, see, both will take same data, because the first user comes and takes the first data line, the second user also comes and takes the first data line only. It won't take second data line. So a lot of people will get confused with this one. Sequential each iteration means first user will take first iteration this value, second user will take second value. No, it will take, all users will take only first data line. Whenever you give sequential each iteration, the values will change only for iterations only, not for the user. So that you should remember and you have to use accordingly. Okay. So whenever you have user details, don't use sequential each iteration. That is not the good option. I will explain you which option is best for which type of parameters. Okay. So hope you understood. Now if you change 10 users also, all first iterations it will take the first data line only, because sequential each iteration always depends on the iteration wise only. Sequential means whatever the value you select here. Let's say you are selecting each iteration, the value will change based on the iteration only. It doesn't depends on the users. Even if you use 100 users, first iteration, all the 100 users will take the first data line only. Okay, that is the way it works. Hope you understood. Just let me know if you have any doubts on this one. Okay. So let's say now we are going and changing into each occurrence. So if you go and simulate parameter each occurrence, it won't work because you don't know how many times you have username in your scripts, right? Each occurrence means what is that mean by? Let's say in your script, this username you have more than one place, then that will be the first occurrence. Okay, let's go and search it. This will be the your first occurrence. If you search second time, see, somewhere it is showing, right? That will be the second occurrence, see. And third occurrence, this is called occurrence. How many times username parameter is there in your script is called occurrence. If it is there three times, three occurrences. So that is the reason if you go to parameter and you try to simulate that one, it won't work. Okay, if you select each occurrence and you go and do simulate, it says it won't work because it doesn't know how many times it has each occurrence. See, you cannot simulate value on each occurrence because it doesn't know how to change it. So don't worry, I will explain you. Each occurrence also same way, guys. Okay, let's say we have three occurrence, right? First occurrence it will take first value, second occurrence second value, third occurrence third value. Okay, let's say the second iteration again it won't go to again first value, it will go to fourth value because first iteration used three values, right? Because we have three occurrences: first iteration first occurrence, first iteration second occurrence, first iteration third occurrence, second iteration first occurrence, second iteration second occurrence, second iteration third occurrence. So the value will change based on the occurrence, not based on the users. Here also, whenever you select sequential, always the value change depends on the updated value on only, not based on the users. All 10 users, let's say you are running with 10 user load test, all 10 users will take the first occurrence first value only in first iteration, second occurrence second value, third occurrence third value for first iteration. Second iteration they will go to fourth value, first occurrence. Second iteration second occurrence fifth value. Second iteration third occurrence sixth value, so on and so forth, guys. Okay, so that is all about sequential each occurrence. Okay, so whenever you use sequential each iteration, it is the duplicate. So 100% duplicate. See, all 10 users will go and take the first value. So if you are using username password, never ever use sequential each iteration. That is very very bad idea because all 10 users will take this value for first iteration. All 10 users will take second value for second iteration. So we have to use always unique for unique. Okay, and unique also we have a lot of options, we'll discuss later. So I'm just giving the example. Okay, then when this is the good one. Okay, let's say there is another one, right? Sequential ones. Let's discuss this also. Sequential ones itself is the meaning it will take only one time. If we use sequential ones, all 10 users or 100 users, whatever users you are using, they will take only first data line, guys. Only this data will go. So this is very 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 bad approach to use for user details sequential ones. Okay, this option is very good for URL parameter. So whenever you have URL parameterization, because you have only one URL, it has to pass in many places, right? For that time you always give sequential ones. That means it always takes this value only. Even though there are two values, it always takes this value only. Okay, because we always uses URL only once, right? One URL only in our application. Okay, so here I mentioned for example some other reason, but real time we will be using only one URL. So let me delete this so that you will have a clear picture. Now let's say you have only one value, and if you give sequential ones and go and simulate parameter, if you run one user 10 iterations, single value will go. Okay, don't think there is only one value, it will go only one value. I will show in the username as well. Okay, so now if you use 100 users also, it will take only same value. Okay, simulate. So let's wait, it's taking some time. So let's see guys, see, all 100 users will take the same value for same first iteration, second iteration, all the iterations, because you give sequential ones. Once means only one value. First user will come and take first value because it is once. It will only pass this value. Second user also comes, it will take only first value only, because I told, right, sequential means always each user will come and takes first data line only. Okay, so now you might be thinking there is only one value, it is taking only one value, right? So let's go to username parameter. Now username parameter we have lot of values. Let me give you sequential ones. This time I have 10 20 values. Okay, now as I mentioned, it should take always 407, right? If I run, so go and simulate it. See, I am running sequential ones option, and I am running with 10 users, only one iteration. See what happens. It takes only first data line. See, 407. If you run 10 100 iterations also, it will take the same value guys, it will never changes. Okay, so let's go and see the second iteration. See, 407. Let's go all the way to 100th iteration and see what it took. Let me drag this one this side. Okay, maybe I may not do that one. Let me try with 93. See, 93, 407 only. So never ever use sequential ones for user details whenever you want to pass unique value for one user. Okay, the best option to use sequential ones is for URL parameter. This is the best thing. You have only one URL, give sequential ones, that's all. Okay, you will reduce lot of work to your users also. If you give sequential each iteration also, each time it has to go and read your data, right? So that means you are doing more read activity. If you give sequential once, it will read only once, because it has to read only one time per user, right? So you no need to worry. So this is the best option for URL. Okay, and let's go here. So that is all about sequential each iteration guys. It's a sequential different options. Each iteration means iteration wise value will changes. If you select each occurrence wise will value changes, and once only first value will go. Okay, so then you might be having any doubt, please let me know, and I can explain you in detail if you want. Okay, so this is all about sequential always duplication. When you are running with multiple users, all users will take the first value for first iteration. If you give once, it will be only one value will be passed for entire test. Okay, so most of them doesn't know this option, so hope this will help you guys. Then the other one is random. This is very easy option. Random, randomly it will pick any one of the value for each iteration. Here there is no concept of user wise. It will change user wise as well as iteration wise. Okay, so let's go and simulate that. So let's say I am adding only one user, one iteration. It may pick any one of the value. If you have 50, it may pick any one of the random value. See, first time. If you run again, it may change. It may not be same. Random, right? So every time it changes. If you run two iterations, two times it will change. See, this will take one and this will take. Sometimes they both also go same value also. Very rarely happens. If you have less values, it may take same value, but most of the time it may take different value if you have more. Okay, so randomly it will change the values for each user wise and iteration wise. Okay, so let's say you are running two users now. So in sequential, if you give two users one iteration, both will take same value, right? But here two users will take two different value for first iteration. Okay, so I ran. See, this took this value, this took different value. So random, each iteration randomly it will pick the value out of 10. Let's say I have 10 values here. It will pick any one of the random value. Okay, for first iteration, for first user. For second user, again it will come and it will pick randomly one of the value. Okay, so likewise you have to think, guys. First user will comes and it sees the option, okay, random. That means I have to pick randomly one of the value. Then it will decide how I have to pick. Each iteration means it has to change the value each iteration wise. Okay, if we give each occurrence, it will change the value each occurrence wise. Let's say username I have three times three different values will go. Okay, so there is a like each occurrence wise you want to change the value in your script, then you can use this option. Each occurrence is the best. Let's say I have three usernames, right? I want to change each occurrence one different value. Then random occurrence is each occurrence is the some of the good option. So first occurrence it may take one of the value. Second occurrence again it may take any one of the value. In random, there is a chance that out of 10 times it may take the same value again also. Okay. If you think that data is not problem, it can take more times the same data, then you can use random each occurrence also when you have more than one occurrence. If you have only one place, then go for each iteration. Okay, that is purely depends on your scenario, how you want it, how many times that username parameter is there in your script. If it is only once, always go for each iteration. You want to be changed that value every occurrence, then go for each occurrence. Let's say only once, then out of 10 times 10 values it will pick only one value. So here if you run 10 users with one iteration, it may pick 10 different values or it may pick 5 different values, but there might be some duplication, not 100% duplication like we saw in the sequential option, right? Here there won't be 100% duplication. There might be little bit, sometimes it may take same value one more than one places. If we have more values, it won't take that much frequently. Here if you see all the 10 values took 10 users took 10 different values, right? There is no repeated value. If you try like that 2 3 times, you may see there might be chance that the same value might be using again one more time, at least once. Okay, so randomly it will pick one of the value, you don't know which value it will pick. So that's the problem in the random. Okay, but random is best option when you want to pass randomly one of the value to the user. Okay, so this is just good for you. Let's say you have like some first name last name or something like that, you want to pass any random value, randomly you can pass any one of them. That time you can go for random parameter. Randomly it will pick one of the value, even if it is duplicate value also no problem, then you can go with random. Okay, So you have to understand is randomly it will change the value for each iteration, each user wise. One user, one iteration it will change. The same user, second iteration again the value will change. Okay. So each iteration means iteration wise it will change the value for each user. Okay. So first user randomly will take any one of the value. Second user also comes and it will take randomly any one of the value. Okay. So randomly it changes the value, not based on the user wise. Okay. So that is all about random. Then final one, very important one, unique. Unique is very good option when you want to pass unique value for each iteration. Okay. Then you have to go for unique option. When you want to pass each user, each iteration one different value, then use unique option. In this case, what happens is, let's say you have one user and you have, let's say, how many values I have? 52. Okay. Then it will pass for one user 52 different values. 50, 53 value, it will depends on the this option. Okay. So first what it does is, let me explain you. First user comes, first value it will take, and second iteration it will take second value, third value, fourth value. Uniquely it will change, and once it completes this out of values 52, right? 53 there is no value. Then what it does? It will check this when out of values policy. Okay, there are three values abort user. So abort user means 53rd iteration the user will be stopped. If we give with cyclic manner, again the same values will be repeated. Again the cursor will go to start at first position and it will start using the same values again. This is called cyclic manner. If we give continue with last value, from 53 iteration onwards, it will pass only this value to the remaining all iterations. This is all about continue with the last value. Let's say you are running with two users, then how these values will take, right? That is good question. Now it will check first how many values are there. Let's say 52 values, right? Then the 52 values divided by 2 it will make. Then first 25 values it will allocate to the first user. Second user it will allocate remaining 25 values. Like that it will do automatic allocation blocks based on the user load, guys. This you should understood. Okay. So whenever you have one user with more data, it will use sequence one by one. If you have two users, then it will divide total data divided by the number of users. Let's say now we have 52 users, right? So go to calculator, then make 52 divided by 2 if you are running with two users. Then 26 values will be allocated for first user. The second user will take 26th iteration. Likewise, okay. So let's see if you want to run for 25th values. Max it can allocate for one user is 26 values per user if you are running with two users. Let's say you are running with three users. Then again same thing, 52 divided by 3 users. Then 17 values it can allocate per user. Okay. Likewise, it will allocate automatically. So this is the automatic allocate block size. It will allocate based on the values and based on the numbers. Okay. So let's see, we have 53, right? Let me take one user. Let me keep 100 iterations and see how many values uniquely it can pass. Okay. If I give 100, 52 values it can pass unique values. On the 53rd iteration onwards it will pass same value. Okay, let's go to the 52 values. Okay, this is the 52, right? Let me go little bit. Okay, Yeah, so 52 value is 814, 53 also 814, because after 53 the iteration, 52 iteration, there are no more values in the parameter file. So it's a this when out of values policy. Here we mention continue with value last value. So it took the last value for remaining all iterations 53, 54, all will take until 100 also 814 value only. That is the last value. Directly go to 100 and check if you want. Okay. So let's try with 98. Okay, a little bit. Yeah, see 814. So let's say now you are changing two users. That time I mentioned right 26, 26 it can divide it by. Okay. See it's not even dividing. Directly it is taking first 52 for 52 values. Second value it is not giving the option to second user. It is saying because you are running 100 iterations per user, first preference it is giving to first user only, automatic allocation. Okay, and second iteration it is saying no values. Let's say you want to allocate minimum some values, right? Then you can go with manual allocation. There is a allocate manually. So you can calculate. Let's say I want to pass 26 values for each user. In that case, how it works is it will block 26 values for per user. Now, see, first user taking 401 and the second user is taking 405. Okay. Now, if you run 100 users, first 26 values will take for first user, then the second value 26th value will be passed for second user. Okay, so this is manual allocation. If you do automatic allocation based on your iterations, the values will be assigned to the users automatically. Okay, so that way, let's say two users, you are running two iterations. That means 2 into 2, how many values you want? 4, right? You have 4 values, automatically it will allocate 4 values. See, okay, and also go to the here and see how the values will be allocated. So first user it will give the preference 407 400 will be the first user, second user 400 215. Okay, so let's change to 2 to 4 values you need. See, let's move a little bit. 407 is for first iteration, second iteration 400, then again this one. Okay, 71 400 for second iteration. First two values for first iteration, second two values for second iteration, second user. Like that, it will allocate based on the iterations. It will see whether I have sufficient values for first user. Let's say you give 50 values, 50 iterations. That means first 50 values will be allocated for first user. Then only two values left, right? That will be allocated for second user. So likewise, it will decide. See, the second user will be using only two values. See, so 161 again 8014. See 814 because it is first iteration it took this one, second iteration the values completed, right? 50, 50 first user took 50 values uniquely, second user 51, 52 and 53 there is no value, so we have when out of value option as continue with last value, right? So it passed as is. Okay, so that is all about unique each iteration, guys. Okay, each iteration it has to pass one unique value. Okay, so that is all about unique. So unique each occurrence we can't use it because each occurrence you need different unique value. Okay, this is never ever use this one because you need that many values. Okay, if you have that many values you can go with unique each occurrence also if you want. Okay, but this is not suggested one. See, and also automatic allocation block is disabled when you have unique each occurrence, because it doesn't know how many occurrences you have in your script. You have to allocate them manually per user, how many values you want to block, so that the values will be blocked for first user, second user, likewise. If we give 26 values, first 26 values will be blocked for first user. Remaining 27th to 52 will be blocked for second user, so on and so forth. It will be like that, every 26 incremental it will allocate. Okay, then once. So this is the best option you have to use for username passwords. Let's say you are running with 100 users, you have 100 usernames passwords. So you are running with 100 users, you are passing 100 username passwords. Then what is the best option to pass? Best option to use, right? Unique ones is the best option. Why? It will allocate one user per one value per one user, guys. See, unique. First user will come and take this value, and it will be once, right? This single value passed for all the iterations. Second user for second iteration, second user for second value, third user for third value. Likewise, I have total 52 values. I can max run with 52 users only. I cannot run 53rd user, because it will fail. If you run also, 53rd user will directly will stop saying out of values. There is no parameter value. So make sure when you are running a test with 100 users, you should have 100 username passwords in your parameter file, and the best option is unique ones, guys. Unique ones is the best option for username and passwords when you want to pass unique value per user. So let's go and simulate it. So I told 52 users it will pass properly, right? So let's go and give 52 users. You can give 100 iterations or 200 users, n number of iterations, guys. It will work, okay? Because it will pass only one value per iteration. See, first value for per first user, even second iteration also same value will be passed once, right? The value first user, whatever value it takes, it will pass it for all the iterations, because of the once option. Only one time it will allow to pick the value. Unique means always first user first preference, second user second value, third user third value. So maximum it will pass 52 values. Let's say you are passing 53rd value, then it will directly fail, blank. There are no values. See, there is no value. Your user will go to stop status in the, you will get like this error. Insufficient records, username table. Please provide the values. Okay. This is the way the values will go, guys. Whenever you use username passwords, always use unique ones. Whenever you do parameter for URL, always use sequential ones. These are the two very important things you should do. Okay. Then date. Let's say I did date. Each iteration is enough. If you want to pass same date for entire test, each once also fine, but once there is a problem. Let's say you are running a 24-hour test, then it will pass yesterday's test, right? When let's say I'm starting 7:10, tomorrow 7:10 p.m. it has to run 24 hours, then the date will change, right? That time there is a problem. So use always each iteration for remaining all options. Every iteration that date will be sending. Don't use once, because the date changes, it may fail your script. Okay, so this is the option. See, most of them here also it is each occurrence, but it should be each iteration. Okay, arrival date also it should be each iteration. And there is a beautiful option, guys, parameter offset. I will explain later how to do the date and time parameters. So today I just explained only file type using these options. Hope you understood, guys. So you have anyone has any doubts, please message me in the YouTube channel. I can reply. Okay. So from here on, I will make weekly one video for sure. Okay. So thanks for watching, and thanks for your subscriptions, guys. Please do like my videos and share. Thank you. See you all tomorrow with the next different video, guys. Bye for now.